Hey everybody, it's Booster Pack Reveal, and in this video I'll be talking about price discovery and fluctuations in NBA Top Shot. So before I continue this video, I just want to remind everyone that this is not financial advice. Please do your own research and invest at your own risk. Alright, so let's get started. So the reason why I wanted to make this video is because when I was on the Discord channels, on general or the marketplace sub channels, I've noticed a lot of people complaining about price dropping, like when to buy, when to sell, it's gonna crash. Like, I feel like based on what I observed, there's a lot of lack of understanding about supply and demand and understanding how the overall market works. So I'm not an expert at this, but I'm just bringing my background from investing and in crypto and applying it to NBA Top Shot. All right, so I'll try to talk slowly and I'll try to slow things down and explain it concisely for you guys to understand. And yep, so let's start. So I want to show you guys this website. Is called Investopedia. So I highly recommend you guys read about how supply and demand works. This is like an introduction. So this is all based on like micro and macroeconomics. It's very useful with all the content that they explain here. And yeah, so if you guys don't understand what supply and demand is, I recommend reading this first before watching my video. Or if you're lazy and you don't want to read about it, I do explain it in simple terms using NBA Top Shot as an example. So that's just one resource you guys can look into. All right, so I want to show you guys an example of a case study for LaMelo Ball. So I'm just going to briefly talk to you guys about what happened based on my experience. So when Series 2 was first released, LaMelo Ball was one of the rookie players that was released, and there were only 4,000 limited edition. So the very first pack release for base sets, there weren't too many listings on the market. I believe there were only maybe like 20 at the time, and the price was going for around $350 to $400, and then I've seen a lot of people buying up the price and pushing it up further, like the base floor price, and yeah, so the price was staying up in that level for a while, and then the next pack release came out, and I noticed the price dropped all the way down to $30, and I was like, wow, like this is cool, like like it actually reflects the supply and the demand, right? So then from 20 listings, it went to about I think it was 100 listings. So obviously, what we learned from that is that there were more supply released to the market, and more people have been listing it. So obviously, the price goes down. So, anyways, LaMelo Ball was the first time I've seen this happen, and I just want to use this in my video as an example. So I went ahead and created these graphics here just to explain what supply and demand is using LaMelo. So as you can see in this chart, on this axis is price, which goes from 0 to up, and then you got supply and demand. So going from left to right. All right. So what do these lines mean? So let me explain this to you guys. So the supply right here on this side. So the way it works is, if the supply is greater than demand, then the price falls down. So if you look at this chart, see this line here? This is supply. If it's going up, it means that the demand is going down. So obviously the price will go down, right? So if demand exceeds the supply, the prices goes up. So on the left side of this chart, as you can see, if the supply goes down, the price goes up, right? So the price goes up and the demand goes up, right? So yeah, that's all you need to know. If the supply goes down and demand goes up, the price goes up, right? So I'm just gonna explain that to you briefly about how supply and demand works. So I'm not gonna go over this too much. I'm just gonna show you guys the next graphic. All right, so price fluctuations. So this is where a lot of people on the Discord channel don't understand why prices are going down. A lot of people are freaked out for the fact that, like, let's say LaMelo was at 500 and it drops down to 400. People have to keep in mind that that $400 price is the lowest ask. In order for you to get a proper sample size of how many people are listing at 400, you have to see the entire listing and get an average of 400 listings in order for an accurate price drop, right? If everyone else is listing it at 500 and there's only one guy that wants to make a quick sell for 400, obviously that's the lowest price you'll see on the listing, right? So don't be fooled by that. And there's also like price bugs right now where the lowest ask is always stuck at that certain price, but in reality the price is much higher. Okay, so I'm going to explain to you guys about price fluctuations. So this is a graphic chart that I created. I hope this is easy for you guys to understand. So let me break it down for you guys. So each person here, this symbol represents 1,000 users. Each ball here represents 500 LaMelo listings, okay? So there are only 4,000 limited edition that exists for LaMelo Ball. So let's start with this column here, right? So we got base set release 1. So we're going to have a listing of 500 LaMelos, right? And let's say that there are only 1,000 users. So obviously there's going to be less LaMelos for 1,000 users, right? So you got 500 LaMelos, 1,000 users. And let's pretend that the price is at $500 right now, okay? So the next release will be another base set release, right? So this is number 2 release. This time they're going to release a lot more LaMelos for everyone to have when they reveal it in their packs, right? So now we have a total of 2,000 LaMelos. And now we have 2,000 users. So if everyone was able to get a pack, hypothetically, there's a good chance that these 2,000 users would be able to get one LaMelo each. So obviously when they list it on the marketplace, there's going to be a lot of listings for the equal amount of users. So that means the price is going to go down. Okay? So I hope you guys are following me. So now let's say that there's going to be the last release, which is number 3. So now we only have a total of, let's say that all 4,000 was already released, but this time there are only 150 listings available for 4,000 users. So the users are like, it's basically an example of user growth. So let's pretend that, let's go back one more time. So at the very beginning, there's going to be like 1,000 users. And then the next week, we're going to have 2,000 users. And then the third week, we're going to have 4,000 users. Okay. So now that we have 150 listings and 4,000 users, obviously there's going to be more demand for these because there's less supply, right? So that means prices are going to go back up, right? Okay, now let's pretend we're in a scenario where there's no more packs. They fully retired those player moments. Everyone was able to get them from packs, or some are still unopened but haven't been listed. So now let's say the listings fell back from 1,500 listings to 500 listings. And now let's say that we're in like week 4. Now we have, let's say each of these represent 1,000. So we got 10, 20. So let's say we had 20,000 users. Now you had 20,000 users wanting to buy a LaMelo, and there's only 500 listings. So can you imagine if the base level was $1,000 and these people are just buying it up? Obviously the price is going to go up over time, right? So it all depends on the demand and how much supply there is. So yeah, this is just basically my way of explaining things. I hope you guys understand it. And yeah, that's what I just want to show you guys, right? And let's go back to the marketplace. So if we go back to the marketplace, let's use another example. I'm not going to go in full details. Let's use LeBron as an example. Let's say his sorry, it's a little slow here. Okay, LeBron. All right. Okay, so let's say we're gonna use let's find his lowest asking price. Okay, here we go. His 3-pointer, right? This was his second moment in series 2. So his first one was the dunk, and this is 7500 limited edition. So now we have his second series 2 moment, which is now 1500 cc, right? So as you can see, there are it's priced at $233. There's 612 listings. So let's pretend that people are listing it, right? And then you got smart investors who see it as, or consider it cheap. So they buy it up, right? So that means there's going to be less listings every single time someone buys it, right? So obviously, the lower the listings, the more demand there is, right? Because there's gonna be so many users wanting to own a LeBron, but there's very few listings, and then the floor prices will go up. So let's use this as another example. LeBron from Series 1, or let's find something with a very low listing here. Okay, here we go. Let's use let's use his Hollow Series 1. So there are only 3 on sale. As you can see, it's $100,000 for the lowest ask price. The next listing is like $250 for the next 2. So obviously, if someone is listing at 10,000, they can change the price to anything they want because there's only 3 listings, right? So if people see that the price fell, like let's say he decides to list it for 50,000 for a quick sale, obviously the listing prices will drop from 100,000 to 50,000. But just keep in mind that people lowball their listings so they can make a quick sale, but it doesn't reflect the average price. So the average price right now is actually 250, right? 250,000. So that's an example of like listings. The lower the listings, there's going to be a lot of price fluctuation just because the person with the lowest ask can list it at any price, which can cause the price to move a lot, right? So obviously, if there's a greater amount of listings, all with the average same price, then you're going to have this price discovery where everyone have this consensus of agreeing that this is worth this much. So everything at the end of the day is about price discovery. We're so early into the game right now that there's going to be a lot of price fluctuations. No one knows how much things are worth until we have a lot more users to the space. So the whole point is that the greater amount of users, the more stable prices are, because we have a larger sample size of people who dictates what the market price should be worth for each player. Anyways, I hope you guys understand what I explained in this video. I hope to make more of these in the future, and I hope this helps people with no background in any micro or macroeconomics. These are just basic like supply and demand and just understanding what price discovery is and price fluctuations. So if you guys like this video, please hit the like button and hit the subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell just to see when my next video will come out. So I hope to see you guys in the next video. Cheers.